Hello everybody and welcome to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan women's basketball. A little Saturday matinee style inside the Crisler Center. It's frigid outside but toasty inside as the Wolverines welcome their in-state rival Michigan State Spartans to Ann Arbor for a pivotal Big Ten clash. Alongside Adam Bressler, I'm Jared Greenspan. We'll have your call for the first half with Alex Miller and KG Foley waiting in the wings for the second half here on WCBN. Michigan and Michigan State tip off in just about 10 minutes or so. It's been a solid season so far for the 17th ranked Wolverines, coming off a win their last time out at Purdue in convincing fashion, trouncing the Boilermakers by 21. The last time Michigan played on its home floor, it suffered a 9-point loss to 16th-ranked Iowa and one of the nation's best players in Caitlin Clark. So Michigan will look to reverse that trend at home and get a 2-game winning streak going today against Michigan State. The Spartans sitting in the middle of the pack in the Big Ten Conference. They're coming off an 84-80 overtime loss to Wisconsin that dropped them to 2-4 in Big Ten play. Michigan, by comparison, is 4-2 in conference.
This game is really pivotal for the Wolverines. A lot of question marks over the trajectory of their season, especially after that tight loss at home against Caitlin Clark. Big Ten is just so top-heavy in the women's standings. We got some really incredible programs. You mentioned Iowa, also Ohio State, still undefeated. Number 3 in the nation, had a big win on New Year's Eve in Columbus. Michigan trying to stay in the pack, but this is a really tough conference, and the Wolverines need a win today against in-state rival to at least contend for one of those top spots in the Big Ten and hopefully get hot as the tournament approaches in Minneapolis.
Top-heavy Big Ten. Michigan still has 2 matchups with Indiana, a matchup with Maryland, a matchup with Ohio State, and a matchup with Illinois, all ranked foes upcoming. But this game, no slouch either. The Spartans much improved from last season, entering the game at 10-7 and 2-4 in the Big. They've played a tough Big Ten slate, and Michigan better be prepared for a dogfight today against the Spartans. With that, we'll give way to the public address announcer as the national anthem plays throughout Crisler.
At this time, we'd like to join the Michigan women's basketball team as they stand to demonstrate their fight for unity and inclusion with the playing of Lift Every Voice and Sing. Please remain standing in over your hats. Active duty veterans making their caps on or red in the military salute. And join us in honoring America and those who protected the singing our national anthem. The colors are presented to you by the Army ROTC. And the anthem will be performed today by Michigan student Morgan Gomes.
Stellar renditions of both Lift Every Voice and Sing and the national anthem. And now, as the crowd really begins to filter in here, they have the Upper Bowl open, which normally is just reserved for the men's game, but they had the Upper Bowl open last week against Iowa and now today against Michigan State, and a very good turnout inside Crisler Center, which is certainly great to see.
Almost certainly, especially how dominant this women's team has been for the past 3+ seasons, to finally see that translate into an increased attendance, especially on a Saturday like today. This is the perfect college basketball Saturday in the state of Michigan. You are freezing outside, frigid temperatures, cozy up inside the Crisler Center, especially against an in-state rival. This opportunity only comes around once a season, and the fans are here for a show.
So let's run you through the lineup for Susie Merchant's Michigan State Spartans. Starting in the backcourt, it's Dee Hageman and Kamaria McDaniel. Matilda Eck at the 3, Moira Joyner, coming off a career high in points, is at the 4, and then Tyre Parks is the forward. Michigan, meanwhile, rolling with Maddie Nolan, Layla Filia, Leah Brown, Emily Kaiser, and Cameron Williams, under head coach Kim Barnes-Orico. Michigan and Michigan State just a few moments away from tipping off. The hype video for the Wolverines playing right now on the Jumbotron inside the Crisler Center as the Michigan players look up and await their introductions. It's a maze out inside the Crisler Center today. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention that. And I would say most of the fans are following along.
80% participation. Pretty impressed.
It's about as much you can ask for a basketball game.
Yeah. The football game maze outs and blew outs, those get a ton of following. It's tougher with basketball just because there's so many. A lot of times it's families with young kids in attendance. A bit more difficult to get everyone. Do have to mention a good section of green here too. It's only about 45 minutes from East Lansing. Not surprised to see a couple of Spartan fans make the trip on down.
Good amount of green and white have infiltrated the sea of maize today. Michigan, appropriately, is wearing their all maize uniforms. Michigan State rocking the all greens.
And we're about to go live. This will be a great game. Sure, there's a lot of bad blood between these two teams. Just growing up in state, having the two big programs, you only face off twice a season. Got to make it count.
First meeting this year against Michigan State. The next is February 5th in East Lansing.
Huddling up and getting ready to tip off. Crucial win for the Wolverines, looking to string a pair of wins together after losing to Iowa a week ago today. Michigan State hoping to turn their trajectory around. Only 2 conference wins so far this season.
Wolverines and Spartans just about ready to tip things off. A Saturday matinee basketball game doesn't really get much better than that. Of course, college football is done with, and now it feels very appropriate in January to have Saturday afternoon college basketball.
Certainly. I feel March already coming, and it's only January 14th.
Both teams have taken the floor. Michigan in the all-maize unis. Michigan State rocking the all-greens. Wolverines and Spartans, a pivotal Big Ten clash inside the Crisler Center, moments away from tipping off. And again, thank you for being with us here on WCBN Sports. Alongside Adam Bressler, I'm Jared Greenspan. We'll have first half action for you inside the Crisler Center. Cameron Williams and Parks ready to tip it off. Williams wins the tip. It's controlled by Leah Brown at the block M. She'll take it left to right, and away we go. Brown hands off for Filia, flips right side, Leah Brown. Fires back, cross court in the left side, Filia in the short corner, rises for a deep 2. That's off the heel, no good. And it's cleared by Joyner from Michigan State. Joyner quickly right to left, given the left side. Launching for 3 is Eck. It's in and out and again. And Michigan State opens the scoring via a 3-pointer by Matilda Eck.
Looked nothing but net there until it swished around and finally landed.
Felia dices inside with the sidestep down the left alley. She stepped through on Parks and lays it in, and Michigan's on the board.
Michigan team has had no shortage of offense. The question is, can they be consistent and do it for 40 straight minutes?
McDaniel gives way for Eck. Now given the left side, it's Hageman matched up with Brown. Up to the point for Parks, hands off for Hageman. Brown sticks with her, rifles left side for Joyner, spins off of Kaiser in the short corner, up and under, got Williams in the air and lays it in. So an aggressive Michigan State, a minute gone by. Spartans up 5-2 and they're pressing. Brown is trapped, gets it away for Kaiser in the backcourt. She's got to hurry. Up for Brown, floats it across the timeline on the right side for Maddie Nolan. Drops it into the post for Cameron Williams on the block. Back out left side for Leah Brown. Shot clock halfway through, Michigan resets. Felia with Hageman at the point, given the left side for Leah Brown. And a whistle and a foul is going to go on Michigan State. I believe that's on Joyner underneath, who was jostling with Kaiser.
I got to respect the aggression from Michigan State, from Coach Merchant to come in here, full court press in the first quarter when your team's actually leading and looking very good. Got to play with the foot on the gas.
Nolan in the short corner on the left side, now retreats beyond the arc. Finds an unsuspecting Williams on the right wing, hands off for Felia with 10 to shoot. Felia drives, attacks, slithers inside, across the lane, missed the layup. Williams tracks down the rebound. Brown up top, drops it underneath for Kaiser, goes to the left hook, in and out. Williams had the rebound, lost it, last touch, it's off her. And it'll go Michigan State's way. The Spartans up 5-2. Just 101 seconds into this ball game. 8:15 and rolling now in the first quarter. 5-2 Michigan State. Hageman at the point, flips it along the left wing for Eck. Eck gets it back from Parks, moving left, floats it into the corner for Hageman. Thought about a three, jab steps with Felia, now rises for three and buries it. D.T. Hageman from downtown. Or that was McDaniel, rather, canning a three. Felia on the right side. Now pulls back beyond the arc. Michigan in the 8-2 hole early. Felia finds Brown at the foul line, working with Hageman. Fakes, bump, throws up a contested fade, rolls in and out, and that's McDaniel with the board. Motoring right to left down the middle, given the left side. Eck lets it fly, in and out. Brown clears.
Classic heat shot from Michigan State. First missed shot of the game for them.
Felia on the left side, fighting with McDaniel, who's it off of as it skirts out of bounds. It'll stay this way. Good hands by McDaniel. And now substitutions quickly coming in for the Wolverines. Jordan Hobbs will enter the game as Layla Felia sits. Kyra Evans in as well as Cameron Williams takes a seat. So Kim Barnes-Arico looking to change things up with Michigan down 8-2. 7:25 left in the first. Brown inside looking to squeeze it into Kaiser, and it trickles out of bounds.
I like the thought there, just not great execution. Had the pass, squeezed it through, just not in the right position, and it went out of bounds and gave up another turnover.
Joyner to Parks on the elbow, rumbles at Kaiser. Back up top, Joyner working with Evans. Joyner drives, kick in the corner, McDaniel. She's made one from there already. Drives at Hobbs, gets inside, lost it. Parks gets it and throws up an air ball. Evans clears. Brown left to right down the middle, giving the left side. Hobbs slicing to the basket, lefty layup, she blows it. The rebound knocked around, Nolan trying to save it, and she does to Hobbs. Second effort won't go, in and out. Two missed layups for Jordan Hobbs. Michigan State the other way, Leah Brown picks off the pass. Brown into the forecourt. In the short corner, picks up her dribble as Eck sticks on her, feeds Kaiser at the elbow. Kaiser working with the smaller Hageman. Left-handed hook is good. Frenetic sequence ends with 2 points for Michigan. The Wolverines down 8-4.
Starting to look back in a swing. It's whether they can overcome this deficit. Plenty of time left, though.
Hageman on the right side, hounded by Nolan. Gives up top for Parks. Hands off for Hageman, moving right behind the arc with Nolan. Drops it off for Joyner, curling inside, and she travels. Stalwart defense by the Wolverines, forcing the second Michigan State turnover. Both have been on Joyner. Michigan looking to break the press, moving left to right, down 8-4. 4 minutes gone by in this one as Leah Brown catches on the left wing, working with Joyner. Brown angles right, picks up her dribble, kicks back a skip pass, far side corner, Nolan's open, and that's off the heel. Weak side board is reeled in by McDaniel. McDaniel right to left on the left side. Feeds for Hageman, extra feed in the corner. Joyner lets it fly. No good on a 3. Rebound knocked out of bounds. That's going to stay this way. Nolan and Evans were battling with Parks, and I think Nolan touched it last.
This offense that has looked dominant all season is very slow to get moving tonight, this afternoon rather. They've been streaky, but the question is, can they turn it around without getting in too much of a deficit?
Alexander into the game for Michigan State as Parks takes a seat. Joyner hands it off on the high on the right wing for Hageman. She's played by Brown, is moving right, hands off for Eck, now flips to the point for McDaniel with Nolan. Alexander's first touch, she flips it right back to McDaniel, who's doubled, nearly threw it away. Alexander gets to it, given the corner for Eck. Eck drives on Hobbs, the kick right side corner for Hageman. Hageman works baseline. A Michigan player is down, that's Evans. It's a shot clock violation, but concern is for Evans, who is unable to get herself up right now and now limps off the court, or trying to limp off the court. She has to stop several times.
Not good. Tries getting up and then goes immediately down again.
And she has made her way to the trainer's table along the sideline as Elise Stuck enters. And that'll bring us to immediate timeout. 5:22 to play in the first. Michigan State up 8-4. A slow start for the Wolverines. Just 2 of 9 from the field. They've missed a lot of easy layups too.
Yeah, it's not only that they're missing the lower percentage shots from beyond the arc. As you said, they're missing the easy points that should just be money for them. I don't know what they should be changing, because fundamentally they're looking like a very good team. They're moving the ball well, not really having that many turnovers besides that one errant pass, but just unable to land their shots and finish.
And Michigan State got off to a quick start, buoyed by a pair of 3-pointers, but the Spartans, in a scoring drought that extends 2 minutes and 40 seconds, 0 of their last 4 from the field, and they've committed 3 turnovers. But nonetheless, because of Michigan's own offensive ineptitude, the Spartans are still doubling up the Wolverines. 8-4 here at the first media timeout. 5:22 left here in the first quarter. A stellar crowd inside Crisler Center. The matinee maze out between Michigan and Michigan State. Wolverines ranked 17th in the nation, touting a 14-3 record with a 4-2 mark in conference. Michigan State, meanwhile, sitting at 10-7 with 2-4 in the Big Ten. It's the first of 2 meetings this year between these 2 conference foes.
And the Wolverines have a couple of close losses, too. You mentioned the Indiana game, or pardon me, the Iowa game last week, but also their very first loss was to Toledo, and it came down to the final point, and they ended up losing 71-68. Toledo, although they're like a mid-major team, they did win the MAC last season. Very dominant program, but that's just tough to have them come into Crisler and lose that early out-of-conference matchup. But beyond that, they look like a strong team. We saw what they could do when the offense gets rolling down in Charlotte. Completely shut down the previously 6th-ranked team in the nation in UNC. But what ended up happening, they got 35 points in the first quarter alone. The offense just sparked like a flame, and that was enough to carry them. Completely different story tonight.
Kaiser with 2 points, Filia with 2 points. No one else has done anything of substance on offense for Michigan. Wolverines will need the likes of Maddie Nolan and Leah Brown to get going if they want to contend with Michigan State in this one this afternoon. Both teams back on the floor right now. Michigan rolling with Kaiser, Brown, Hobbs, Stuck, and Nolan. So 3 starters on the floor for Kim Barnes-Orico. Michigan State again deploying that full court press as Kaiser will inbound underneath the basket for the Wolverines. She gets it into Leah Brown, who's doubled immediately on the left side. Now to Kaiser. Kaiser reluctant to put it on the deck, now rumbles, loses it, gets it back, and works her way across the timeline on the near side. Finds Leah Brown at the point, working with Hageman. Already shot clock down to 10. Hobbs catches at the point, flips left wing for Brown. Shot clock at 5. Brown's got to make a move. She'll feed Kaiser, catches in the corner. 2 to shoot, back for Brown, turns, heaves, hits. That's Leah Brown. Shot clock waning, unfazed And Michigan's down 2. And now a whistle and a foul, I believe, is going to go on Michigan State. It's an offensive foul. The refs didn't know what to do there, and now both refs are conversing with each other. And it is going to be an offensive foul on the Spartans. So a big 10 seconds there that swings in the Wolverines' favor.
That was a questionable pass on that previous Michigan possession. Had a second and a half left, got it off, and a buzzer beater right before the shot clock died. Huge shot by Michigan, brings it within 2.
Brown works her way across, giving the left wing for Nolan. Nolan catches, flips up top for Kaiser. Push pass on the right side goes to Leah Brown, underneath for Kaiser. Rises in and out, missed the 14-footer. And the rebound cleared by Joyner. Joyner rumbles right to left, pushing for Michigan State. Skip feed in the corner, leaping catch made on the near side by Hageman, who floats it cross court on the right wing for McDaniel. McDaniel drives, hop steps into the lane, forces it up. It's short. Rebound Alexander. Swing it, left wing. Joyner launching. No good on the 3. Good box out by Nolan, but she was too aggressive on that box out. It's going to be a foul as McDaniel hit the deck.
Still a very low-scoring game so far. Looking at Michigan's previous ones, they put up 80 points, 90 points. So far, over 6 minutes, they only have 6 points.
Felia into the game for Nolan. Camp Schrader into the game for Stuck as Michigan searches for more offense. Down 8-6 with 4:07 left in the first. Driving baseline is Hageman, and she draws a foul. That'll go on Felia, just back into the ball game.
Prior to this possession, Michigan was very good about not fouling, and then 2 quick ones back to back.
Alexander in the corner for Hageman, working with Brown. Lobs underneath Alexander. Alexander goes to work, and she's called for steps. 5th turnover for Michigan State, and that's really the only thing keeping Michigan in the game right now.
Not only that, but also just Michigan State has cooled down a lot since their early run. They're 0 of their last 6 from the field.
Michigan looking to get its offense to match the defense. Kaiser at the right elbow, kick in the corner. Hobbs, no hesitation, too long on a 3. Strong rebound, Joyner. Michigan yet to hit a 3 today. Joyner right to left down the middle. Pirouettes at the point. Given the left side for, and the cross court pass goes to Eck. Now in the corner, Hageman up top, Joyner, and she's fouled by Camp Schrader. So it's
3 fouls in very repeated succession here. 2 on the last possession and a 3rd one right there. I know kind of the second team is starting to get some minutes, but that's not a great sign when you get sloppy, especially this early in the game.
Hageman controls for Michigan State. Spartans haven't scored in over 4.5 minutes. Joyner walled off by Nolan. Give for Osment. Bounce pass underneath Alexander. Goes for the left. Can't get it to go, and a strong rebound for Kaiser, who wanted a foul on Alexander there. Didn't get it. Look at Kaiser playing point forward, rumbling left to right. Gives for Camp Schrader up top. Flipping left side. Leah Brown with the catch. Brown has a Kaiser screen. Slips it. Works toward the corner. Fires it cross court. Camp Schrader leaping grab. She works the baseline on Osment. Sealed off nicely. Back out Felia with 5 to shoot. Brown at the point, 4 to shoot. Launches a deep 3 and buries it. Ring it up for Leah Brown, and Michigan's on top 9-8 for the first time today.
That was a prayer heave, and it somehow found the center of the net.
Second time tonight, Leah Brown has nailed a late shot clock jumper. That one way beyond the arc. Alexander, right side feed goes to Osment. Back to Alexander, hands off Osment. Moving right on Camp Schrader. Floats underneath Alexander. Layup, good enough foul. Immediate answer from Michigan State as the Spartans leapfrog back in front 10-9.
There's a little bit of commotion on Michigan's bench there. Thought there might have been a travel from Michigan State. Ultimately no call, but it looked like maybe a 3rd step was taken.
So Alexander at the line looking to cap off the 3-point play. Michigan wanted to travel, didn't get it, and the tide has turned back in Michigan State's favor. 2:21 left in the first. Free throws pure by Alexander. Spartans up 11-9.
And that's what it took to break the scoring drought, and we have a very tough play there for the Wolverines.
As Felia tosses the inbounds pass away. So unforced error there. Second turnover of the game for the Wolverines. McDaniel inbounds for Hageman along the sideline. She moves towards the top of the key, giving the left side for Osment, looking back door, and miscommunication with Eck as it sails out of bounds. 6 turnover for the Spartans.
Yeah, both the Spartans' poor shooting and their turnovers has kept Michigan in the game, especially after Michigan's shooting woes and just a hot start from the Spartans. But MSU is riding with their full court press. It's been very successful. Already seen 2 turnovers straight from it.
Leah Brown on the left side for Michigan. She's had the hot hand with 5 of the Wolverines' 9 points, and she's fouled 40 feet away from the basket at the block end by Alexander.
That adds a jolt. 3 team fouls from MSU. So no trouble of really going in the bonus, at least as of now.
Alexander, who had an up-and-down stint, will take a seat as Parks re-enters. Brown inbounds underneath Kaiser at the left block with Parks. Floats it back out, camp straight in the corner, fakes, now drives, pull up along the baseline is off the heel, and Aralt pulls down the board from Michigan State. Outlet pass up the right side, McDaniel with Camp Schrader, under 2 minutes to play in the first. Left wing feed goes to Aralt, and she traveled. It's a turnover fest early in Crisler Center. 7 turnovers for Michigan State. Wolverines down 11-9, shooting just 29% from the field as Greta Kampschrader takes it left to right. Given the left side for Leah Brown, working with Hageman. Her cross-court pass is deflected out of bounds as Eck gets a hand on it.
You said this last possession, but just lots of turnovers here. Michigan's got to hang on to this one, but that had the potential to be another one.
Leah Brown inbounds, give up top for Layla Filia. Filia lowers her shoulder, works her way towards the block. Kick back out for Nolan, drive and kick. Filia left corner, 3 for the lead. Pure, nothing but net, and you can ring it up for Layla Filia. Wolverines up 12-11. 80 seconds to play in the first. Michigan State trying to answer. Hageman at the point, played by Leah Brown, moving right. Given the left side for Aralt. Further along the wing goes to McDaniel. McDaniel stutter steps, weaves down the alley, gets to the block, cycles around along the baseline. Kick out left wing, Aralt fakes, got Kampschrader in the air, lumbers inside all the way to the cup, but she's called for steps.
Is that the 3rd or 4th travel we've had from Michigan State?
And the 8th first quarter turnover for the Spartans. Just a staggering pace. That would be 32 turnovers if they kept this up.
They're lucky they're only down by 1, just not a lot of discipline, especially on offense and transition play.
Under a minute to play in the first as Kampschrader is hounded by McDaniel, working her way left to right. Drops it off on the left side for Nolan. Now it's Leah Brown on the wing around the Williams screen. Bumped by Parks. It's a play on underneath Williams. All alone. Layup good. Beautiful find by Leah Brown, and this is Michigan's largest lead of the game. It's 14-11.
Able to cut through that full court press like butter. Got an easy layup there.
Hageman on the right side. Gives for Eck. Flips to the point for Parks. Hands off back to Eck. Eck lowers her shoulder. Shut off by Nolan. Gets to the foul line. Kick up top McDaniel with Feely on the crossover. Sloppy with the dribble. And that's a travel. Remember when I said the Spartans were on pace for 32 turnovers? Make that 36. That's 9 in the first quarter.
This is just completely undisciplined and sloppy play, and Michigan has the shot clock turned off. Likely take this down.
14 seconds and rolling as Maddie Nolan catches on the left wing. Finds Leah Brown with 9. Brown doubled, and she throws it away. Brown thought it was deflected, but that double flustered her. KBA comes all the way out near midcourt to argue the call. But Michigan State now has the chance to end the first quarter on a high note with 6.8 seconds to play in the first. And now the refs are going to consult.
I'm wondering if it might have hit a Spartan player on the bench a little bit prematurely. They were right up to the sideline. And I don't know what the ruling is on those types of situations, whether it's interference or just out-of-bounds turnover.
Well, they're going to rule it Michigan State ball. It'll be McDaniel to inbound right in front of the Michigan State bench as Hageman away to the backcourt. McDaniel gets it to her. Hageman picks it up with 6.8 seconds on the left wing, gets a screen from Parks. Swing it for Joyner. Joyner lowers his shoulder, contested fade. No good, it's an air ball. And so that brings an end to the first quarter, a sloppy slugfest. But the Wolverines, despite all of their struggles, come out on top after one, leading 14-11.
By no means pretty, but the Wolverines got it done, at least in the first 10. Gonna need to make some adjustments, especially with the full court press.
Michigan shooting 38% from the field, Michigan State at 33%, but the difference here is the 9 Michigan State turnovers compared to just 3 for Michigan, and credit the Wolverines defense, which kept them in the game early when the offense was stalling.
Absolutely. And I'm wondering what adjustments the Wolverines might need to make. Are they going to have to go and maybe bring some full court press of their own and try to accelerate these turnovers? Do they do anything on offense and transition play to really evade the Spartan press? So far it's been suffocating, and we've seen several turnovers from the Wolverines.
The press has flustered Michigan, and I don't even think the biggest impact is the turnovers. They have 3. I think it's the fact that it's taking Michigan 7 seconds to bring the ball across half court and get in their sets, and then that's slowing them down. We've seen a lot of late shot clock possessions, even some that have gone in Michigan's favor. Leah Brown has bailed them out twice with a pair of desperation heaves, but that press has worked well for Susie Merchant's group early on.
Yeah, and 14 points isn't even that great for the Wolverines. They'll come out to 56 if they keep this pace. Would be the lowest scoring game for the Wolverines all season if this pace holds. I think they'll slowly shake it off and start to heat up. But so far, it's not what the Wolverines need to be doing to build themselves some distance with this in-state rival.
Leah Brown and Layla Filia each with 5, Kaiser and Williams 2 apiece, and that's all the scoring for the Wolverines. Well, we're up 14-11 at the end of one here inside the Crisler Center. Again, thanks for listening to WCBN Sports. Alongside Adam Bressler, I'm Jared Greenspan here on the call for the first half. Alex Miller and KG Foley will have the call in the second half.
And let's give a quick shout out to Jared. This is his second broadcast within, I guess, like 18 hours. And you're not even done yet. Immediately after this one, literally sprinting over to Yost. Going to be broadcasting that rivalry matchup. We just hope for Michigan's sake it goes better than last night.
Thankful for the proximity of these two locations as I continue my 3 calls in 24 hours. Hageman drives down the right alley, sent back but fouled by Leah Brown, and so Michigan State aggressive early here in the second quarter.
And we saw Michigan's fouls begin to tick up quite a bit in the second half of that first quarter. If that continues, that could be key heading into half for the Spartans, especially as they're trying to get into the bonus and get some free points and narrow this deficit.
Ari Wiggins into the ball game for the first time as Brown takes his seat. Hageman to the line for 2. Laces home the first. She can bring Michigan State to within 1. That's true as well. 14-13 Michigan on top. Here comes the press. Wiggins just thrown into the fire. Takes it left to right. Hageman backpedals and Wiggins crosses the timeline. Jordan Hobbs feeds Layla Filia on the left side. Filia jabs, drives, kick in the corner. Wiggins works her way around a screen to the foul line, picks up her dribble, nearly turned it over, but got it back. Sloppy play, shot clock down to 10. Filia looking to resettle, steps into a left wing 3. In and out, and the rebound corralled along the baseline by Parks. Flips it along the near side to Hageman, sprinting right to left. Drops it back door, and laying it up and in is Eck. Beautiful find, and the Spartans open the second quarter on a 4-0 run to reclaim the 15-14 lead. Filia on the left side for Michigan. Wolverines trying to settle in. She'll pull trigger on another 3, and that one's good. Ring it up for the second time today for Layla Filia. A minute gone by in the second. Michigan up 17-15.
bring some promise to the fans here in attendance. People still trickling in midway through the second quarter.
Joyner works the baseline, shut off by Filia. Kick, swing it, left corner three by Aralt is short, and Kaiser had the rebound, lost it. Parks gets it and then turns it over. Wiggins with a burst of speed into the forecourt. Drive, kick, Filia, extra pass, Nolan left wing three, good! Ring it up for Maddie Nolan. It's raining threes in Ann Arbor. A 6-0 Michigan run, and the Wolverines are up 5.
Largest lead of the game for the Wolverines. Finally able to get the offensive spark connecting.
Hageman on the right side as Michigan State looks for another answer. Played by Hobbs. It's an isolation. Picked up her dribble, fires a skip pass cross court for Aralt. Swing it into the corner, Joyner. Underneath for Parks with Kaiser. Lowers her shoulder across the lane, and she travels. First turnover of the second quarter for Michigan State, 10th of the game.
I wish I were keeping count of the travels. I believe that's the 5th one of this game.
It might be more.
Just sloppy play from the Spartans, and they would be in this game if it weren't for those 5+ travels.
Wiggins flips to the point for Filia. Filia left side feed for Wiggins. Wiggins up top, Nolan. Nolan with Parks. Shot clock down to 12 already. Nolan given the right side for Filia. Filia one-on-one, lowers her shoulder, gets inside to the rack, layup, high off the glass, won't go. Parks clears. Here comes Michigan State with a 3-on-2. Eck right down the middle, kick on the left side, Aralt fakes a three. Underneath, finds Parks, and she overshoots Joyner, another turnover, into the arms of Ari Wiggins. Wiggins zigzags the other way, pitches back for Jordan Hobbs, drops underneath, looking for Kaiser, and that's deflected by Parks. It'll stay this way.
You were joking earlier in the end of the first quarter about the pace that Michigan State would have, assuming their turnovers match. So far, they're keeping that up. I believe 36 is still the number if they stay on target. Not a great day from the Spartans to begin.
Nolan inbounding in front of the Michigan State bench, gets it on the left side, Kaiser. High arcing feed up on the left wing for Leah Brown. Goes behind her back, weaves down the alley, hangs, bank shot, good, and a foul! Oh wow, Leah Brown with the acrobatics. And she'll have a chance for a 3-point play.
I'm curious if they count the shot or not. It was a
They will.
Kind of had a step back after the foul to throw it up.
The body control by Leah Brown to hang in midair. Doesn't get the roll on the free throw, and the rebound is tracked down by Joyner, who scampers into the forecourt, drives at Nolan down the left alley, and she's bumped and fouled. So well done by Joyner to push the envelope, and she'll be rewarded with a trip to the free throw line.
Already in the first 3 minutes, we have more trips to the charity stripe than we had the whole first quarter.
Let's see if it will be charitable for Joyner. An 83% free throw shooter. Indeed it is after one. So Michigan State ends an 8-0 Michigan run with the first free throw. In and out on the second. Kaiser rips down her second rebound. Into the hands of Nolan, under 7 to play in the second quarter. Michigan with a 22-16 lead. Nolan on the left wing, played by Hageman. Moving right, giving the right wing for Leah Brown, who catches with Joyner, lobs underneath for Kaiser. Kaiser with Aralt, goes to the left hook, sent back by Aralt. And Hageman has the board. Michigan State numbers 5-on-4. Hageman pitches back for McDaniel. Up top, Hageman back to McDaniel. Launches a right wing three. Too strong and off to the left. Elise Stuck clears.
This defense has been phenomenal for Michigan State. They're not giving Michigan a single break or an easy shot.
Stuck at the foul line, cut off by Joyner. Back up top for Leah Brown, wants a screen. Gets it, moving right, draws a switch onto Joyner. Brown on the right wing, shot clock at 12. Bounce pass underneath Stuck, got great position, up and under, lays it in. Savvy play by Elise Stuck, and the Wolverines are up 8.
Looking for a foul there. A little bit of a flop, stayed on the hardwood a bit long. Nothing called, and Michigan gets her biggest lead of the game with 8.
Hageman on the right side, hands off for Joyner. Now Aralt has it with Kaiser, who has shed her face mask. Aralt hands off. Hageman, bounce pass, stolen by Nolan. And then Eck able to get it back, and she spins away from the defense for 2. Long pass for Felia. Drives, shut off at the block. Throws it back to the foul line for Kaiser. Kaiser lowers her shoulder, arcs up a running hook with the left and drops it in. Emily Kaiser persistent down the alley. Michigan up 26-18. 5:23 left in the second.
Kaiser had 3 players on her and still found it to go on in.
Hageman for Aralt, swinging it on the left side. Joyner with Stuck, fakes, drives baseline, doubled by Kaiser at the block. Flips it out on the right wing. Hageman, good look at a 3. High arcing shot, no good. Stuck had the rebound, lost it. Felia on the deck. And a whistle, and we'll see what the call is. And a kicked ball is going to be the call. I believe Felia kicked it when she was laying on the hardwood. And so it'll stay with Michigan State on the other end of the media timeout. Michigan up 26-18, 4:59 left in the second.
Yeah, so we have a maze-out day here at Ann Arbor. Fans still trickling in. And in stride, KBA and the Michigan offense finally starts to get it going. Continues to be up by 8. Starting to run away with this one. And Michigan State, they went into the intermission, had no real answer to their woes for the turnover. They kept it going and kept the same pace that they had. They had 9 in the first quarter, and they continue to keep giving it up, giving the ball back to Michigan. The one silver lining is that Michigan State has had good turnover play, and they don't give Michigan any free shots on the transition. Get back on the court quickly, no fast breaks or anything. But not in the position you want to be when you're down by 8. And all the momentum seems to be on the Wolverines' end.
Adam, you're just going to drop the broadcast cam on our viewers and not explain to them?
It's something fun at a media timeout to mix things up. We started doing it for some of the football games late in the season, and it worked out well. So hoping to get this in Crisler a little bit more, too.
A little inside our imaginary booth here inside the Crisler Center.
They take care of us. Don does a great job, and all the pro staff and blue staff up in Crisler.
If only we had a Don cam.
I wish we had a Don. That's the next innovation.
Next one at a time.
Yeah. That'll be Kellen, his big pioneer.
So Michigan up 26-18 at the media timeout in the second quarter. 4:59 to play. Wolverines have rebounded from a very slow start, playing very well now in the second quarter. Have opened up an 8-point lead. That's the largest advantage of the ball game. Layla Felia with 8 points, Leah Brown with 7 to lead the way for the Wolverines.
Here's a little bit of some matchup history we have. Most recent game was last February. Michigan won 62-51. But just 2 weeks prior to that, Michigan State took the dub, 63-57. Overall record, this is tough to read, one-sided, 73-23 overall in these two programs' history. Michigan State just has a much longer pedigree of basketball dominance, especially women's basketball dominance.
Spartans will inbound as McDaniel gets it back in the near side corner, works her way across the lane, stops at the block, forces it up over Brown, left it short. Fight for the rebound erupts, Karams back to McDaniel, floater in the crowd, no good, but she's fouled. And so Michigan, with an inability a few times now to grab the defensive rebound, that's 5 offensive rebounds for Michigan State through 15 minutes of play.
Back to the line once again, looking to close this 8-point deficit.
And a
bounces and goes in.
Friendly roll in the hostile environment for McDaniel, who's a 73% free throw shooter. Back-to-back fortuitous bounces. Michigan State within 6 as the Spartans again deploy the press. Stuck looking to inbound, gets it in front of the Michigan bench to Leah Brown. Brown moving left to right, now angling across the near side and crosses right down the block M. Flips for Layla Felia, lowers her shoulder, kick on the right side, Camp Schrader. Drive, shut off at the foul line. Underhand pitch for Stuck, rumbles, kick, and it's a turnover. Into the waiting arms of McDaniel, right to left down the middle. Drops it off on the right side. Hageman goes right at Brown. It's a play on as she blows the layup. All sorts of bodies hitting the deck, and Leah Brown is very slow to get up. Now gathers herself. Cam Schrader, meanwhile, works the baseline on the near side. Shut off at the block. Kick for Kaiser. Swing up top, Leah Brown. Fakes a three. She wants to pull it. She does, and buries it. Ring that one up again for Leah Brown, who holds the follow-through, and Michigan's up 29-20.
Leah Brown all game has provided a jump start to this offense when they started to slow down. We saw it in the first quarter. We see it now.
McDaniel on the left side with Felia, 5-on-5 here. Numerical oppositions as McDaniel drops it off in the near side corner for Vischer just into the ball game. Attacks Cam Schrader across the lane. Kick for Osmond. Osmond launches a three off the bounce over Stuck. It's off to the left, and the rebound tracked down in the near side corner by Felia. Felia with the crossover as she works her way across the timeline, giving the right wing for Cam Schrader. Fakes the handoff, keeps the dribble alive, and now back out for Leah Brown. Brown. Cross court, floats it. Felia pulls trigger on a three off to the right. The rebound for Hageman. Here come the Spartans. Long pass is deflected by Felia, and now it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Michigan State. Three bodies on the floor in front of the Michigan bench, and another turnover by Michigan State. That's number 12.
12, and we still have 3 minutes in the first half.
Well, we know what Susie Merchant is going to be talking with her team.
Oh, certainly. You could have a fan go into the locker room and they know what adjustments need to be made.
Kaiser on the left wing, further along that side now for Leah Brown. Brown slips a Williams screen, now uses one, gets downhill. No look, feed down the right wing. Jordan Hobbs can't cash in. Long rebound, Karams back to the near side corner for McDaniel. Under 3 to play in the second quarter, Michigan up 9. Beautiful bounce feed underneath for Osment, who is fouled. Both Kaiser and Williams were there. Michigan's backline caught sleeping, and it's going to go on Williams.
We've seen several fouls this quarter. I believe all 4 of them have sent Michigan State to the line, really maximizing those fouls. Down by 9, but a chance to make it 7.
Line drive free throw, good for Osment on the front end. Just a 53% free throw shooter on the season. Second is good as well, so the Spartans 8 of 9 from the charity stripe so far tonight. Michigan, meanwhile, just 0 of 1. Cam Schrader left to right. She's shadowed the length of the court by McDaniel. Works her way to the block M. Flips it on the right wing, looking for Brown, and she threw it away. Brown wanted a foul on Hageman, who was hounding her, but it's a play on, and a turnover for Michigan. It's 5th of the game.
That's the one bright spot of this Spartans team, is their defense and full court press has been completely phenomenal. They're making Michigan work hard for each and every point.
The handoff is to Eck. Now Hageman, right side feed goes to Eck, played by Hobbs. Pass at the foul line, drops it underneath for Parks, and she travels. Add that to your travel tally, Adam.
I believe that's 6 of the game so far. Can't stop traveling. That alone has more turnovers than all of Michigan.
29-22 with 2:20 and rolling left in the second quarter. Michigan up 7. Greta Cam Schrader works her way across the block M, drops it off on the right side for Brown. Holds it above her head, now passes to the point. Kaiser hands off back to Brown. Brown works her way to the elbow, contested 2 in and out, but she's fouled. She took a much more difficult shot for herself as she passed up an open 3, but she'll head to the free throw line for 2 as Osment bailed her out.
It was right on the 3-point line. They're going to say only 2 shots, but awfully close there. Make both of these extend the lead back up to 9, tie for the largest of the game.
First free throw is good for Brown, who makes amends after she missed her only free throw attempt earlier in this ball game. And that's a picture-perfect trip to the line. Michigan up 31-22, 2:05 left in the first half. Hageman, who has played the entire game, works her way across. She has it on the left wing with Leah Brown. Holds the rock at her right hip. Now drives, she's shut off, spins, drops it off in the left block for McDaniel, powers her way across the lane, and she's fouled by Camp Schrader. So the foul's beginning to pick up a bit here late in the first half. It's the first on Camp Schrader. or second, rather.
Once again, that'll be another shooting foul, too, recorded against the Wolverines. Spartans really struggling to make it happen from the field, but they can do it from the line.
Indeed they can, as McDaniel sticks the first. Michigan State now 9 of 10 from the stripe. Well, the announcer's jinx always rears its head as that free throw sputters in and out. So apologies to Michigan State. Williams underneath lays it up and in with the left hand. Beautiful dart find by Ari Wiggins. And the Wolverines are up 10. That's their largest lead of the game. Hageman at the point. Push pass on the right side for McDaniel. Lob underneath Parks with Williams. Goes for the right hook and flips it in. Tough taken to make for Parks. Brown the other way. Rifles right side for Wiggins. Wiggins drives. Now circles back. Flips for Leah Brown at the elbow. Brown is doubled, and she's in a tussle with Osment, who came over to try and rip it away. Jump ball, possession arrow will keep it down with Michigan. Wiggins will inbound underneath the Michigan basket. 74 seconds left in the first half. Leah Brown's jumper is short. Parks with the rebound, and she rips it away. And then a turnover in the backcourt. Wiggins flying in, but she missed the layup after getting the steal. Michigan State back the other way with 60 seconds left in the first half. Spartans down 8, looking to end the first half on a high note.
We've seen that all afternoon, just easy layups missed by the Wolverines.
Parks' turnaround jumper from the corner is in and out. Kaiser with the board. Finds Wiggins left to right down the near side. Michigan can get a 2-for-1 here if they hurry. Kaiser on the left wing gives for Hobbs. Hobbs around the Kaiser screen at the point. She's doubled at the block M. Bounce pass trickles to Kaiser at the free throw line extended. Up top, Hobbs. Straight away three. Off the heel, no good. And a foul underneath is going to go on either Kaiser or Williams, jostling for the rebound. It's on Williams. So second foul on Williams.
And Michigan State is in the bonus now, too. So we mentioned all those fouls starting to rack up for the Wolverines.
And that one's going to prove costly, just a no-need ticky-tack foul.
One upside, however, is Michigan took its time on that possession, and you mentioned the 2-for-1 opportunity. Ultimately waited too long, but now if they get the ball back here, they could hold it. First one goes up and in.
Parks, a 52% free throw shooter, continues Michigan State's strong performance from the line, canning the first. And she buries the second. 33-27, Spartans down 6. 26 seconds in rolling, shot clock turned off as Wiggins works her way left to right across the timeline. Played by McDaniel, high up top at the block M. Given the left side, dangerous feed for Kaiser, and Osment commits a foul. She gambled and tried to get the steal, instead caught Kaiser's wrist.
Michigan State started to narrow this lead at the end of the first half, trailing only by 6.
Brown inbounds to the point. It's caught by Wiggins. Wiggins floats it left wing for Kaiser. Hands off Brown with 10 to shoot. Around the Williams screen. Underhand flip on the right wing. Kaiser got her man in the air on a fake. Up top, Leah Brown. Leah Brown to the foul line. Pull up jumper. Pure. Leah Brown ice cold. And she'll end the first half with a J to put Michigan up 35-27 as we go into halftime. An exclamation mark on a fantastic first half for Leah Brown, who finishes with 14 points. It was a slow start for the Wolverines, who shot under 30% through much of the first quarter, but now at 44% heading into halftime and 45% from beyond the arc.
And they just seem to get more and more comfortable as the game progresses. Michigan starting to hit their shots, dealing better with the full court press, starting to really press on the Spartans and make them feel the presence of the Wolverines, accelerating those turnovers that we've seen all afternoon.
35-27 the score. Michigan with the lead. Michigan fell behind 8 too early, but did well not to get too frazzled as they wound their way back into the game, and we wind our way back into the broadcaster cam, because why not?
Yeah. 14 minutes and counting left in this halftime intermission. I have a question for you. So
Yes.
Michigan, especially in the first quarter, a lot closer than they probably could have anticipated, probably would have liked, but started to get some distance. What was going well in that second quarter, and is there anything left that still needs to happen as they come into this locker room and come out for 20 more minutes of play?
I think on one end of the floor, it was Michigan's defense, which really stepped up. At Michigan State committing 14 turnovers. A lot of them were unforced with the travels, but still, Michigan was in the right place at the right time, not giving Michigan State any breathing room. And then on offense, Michigan just played more free and easy. Leah Brown really found her jump shot, and I think they just have to keep that up on both ends of the floor. Adam, you want to do something fun here?
What do you have in mind?
Are you seeing what I'm seeing on the court right now?
Oh, yes, I am. This is incredible.
The esteemed Red Panda is here for a halftime show, and frankly, I'm blown away. Should we call it?
We might have to. She comes to the Wizards games once or twice a season.
She is by far the best halftime show on the planet.
Oh, yeah. I like her. I like the Simon Says guy, too. He came
Steve
to Ann
Max,
Arbor.
yes.
He's good.
I mean,
but I don't think his talent compares to...
First, you have to ride on this unicycle, and then she's got to catch the bowls.
Yeah.
And then she's got to flip the bowls and catch them on her head.
Yeah. I actually saw her a couple months ago. For Thanksgiving, I was down in Dayton with my uncle and grandmother, and I went to a UD Flyers game, and who was there?
She's always there.
She makes a circuit around the Midwest.
All right, here we go. First bowl. Was there ever any doubt for Red Panda?
Not at all. Not at all.
So she makes that one easy. Now has 2 bowls on her head and 2 bowls in her hands as she displays them to the crowd. I like how she faces a different portion of the crowd each time.
Oh, yeah.
Giving everyone the view.
To get a unicycle. I have trouble on a bicycle just turning it around. I can only imagine with half the wheels.
All right, second one on the right foot is upside down, and the other bowl is on top of it, facing right side up. The flip is good for Red Panda.
She's the Adam Vinatieri of cup stacking. The GOAT, the Tom Brady.
It's a lot of pressure if you're the one throwing Red Panda the bowls.
Yeah, you don't want to be the one.
You can't make her bend down. Move too
no.
far one way. All right, she's facing us now.
Up in our corner. Let's see if she can do it. Has 5 on the head now, 2 in the hands. Gets ready for another throw. Cocks herself back onto the foot.
So the first bowl upside down on the right foot. Here comes the second one, right side up on the right foot. She's got 1 more to put. This one's going to go upside down on top of that one. So 3 bowls on the right foot. Here goes Red. Oh, no!
Tragedy.
This is unspeakable.
No, here's the real test of talent. People make mistakes. What happens next? Are you able to come back? Next play, short memory, like a goldfish. Come back and make it happen.
Red Panda back to work. The crowd unfazed, clapping her on. So she assembles the bowls in the same fashion. Here we go. Red Panda, flip number 3.
Oh,
yes!
My goodness.
Red Panda bounces back.
Like nothing happened. Keeps on going. She has like 7 or 8 on her head now. And she has 4 more. I think they're all out for now. Oh, we got a stack on the baseline. She's not done
Plenty of
quite
backup
yet.
bowls. She faces the Maze Rage now. The Maze Rage is into it. Holds the bowls high above her head.
And pretty good turnout from the Maze Rage. Mainly focuses on the men's game, but for big women's games like today, comes on out in full force in Crisler. And gotta say, the atmosphere in Crisler has been great. Really helped pick up the team when they were struggling offensively early in this game.
Red Panda is placing the bowls on her right foot. 1 upside down, the other right side up. 1 upside down stacked on top of that, and then a 4th right side up.
I think a 5th. 1, 2, 3. Is that 5 or 4?
Whatever it is, it's very impressive.
It's incredible.
The crowd waits in anticipation. Here goes Red Panda. She's got them all!
Wow.
Unbelievable!
That is incredible. We're really in the company of greatness.
And she's going back for more. She's not done yet.
She's never done.
That stack of bowls on the sideline are now being tossed to her.
Okay, this is all of them.
This is the grand finale.
For all the marbles.
Where's she going to do it from?
Got to do it from midcourt at the Block M. She's going over by Michigan's bench. The team is in the locker room, so just pointed at the maze rage right behind.
All right, so Red Panda's back is to us right now. She has yet to begin stacking the bowls.
Okay, getting ready. We don't have a great angle. We got to look at the Jumbotron.
All right, first one is stacked upside down on the right foot. Here goes the second, right side up. The third, upside down. She has 2 more in her hand. The fourth, right side up. And here comes the fifth, upside down. 5 bowls stacked along her right foot and right leg. Red Panda for the grand finale.
Getting ready. Stabilizing. Here
she
kick.
Goes. Oh no! Red Panda.
3 out of 5. Still a good attempt.
And Red Panda gets a huge ovation from the crowd. She wants more.
She's never satisfied.
She's going back. Red Panda.
Nothing but perfection for Red Panda.
So Red Panda stacking the 5 bowls again in the same fashion. The first upside down, the second perched atop it right side up, the third resting upside down on top of that one, the fourth right side up, and the fifth upside down. 5 bowls for Red Panda, cradled along her right foot and right leg. She has a stack already very high on top of her head. The grand finale is here. The crowd waits in anticipation. Here goes
kick.
Red Panda. And again, she did not get it. 2 bowls have gone awry.
This is difficult. This is like getting a hole-in-one on a par 5. Doesn't come easy. Is she going for a 3rd attempt? Think she might.
She is definitely going for a 3rd attempt. Red Panda back for more. The maze rage is on its feet.
Oh, wow. We have more energy here than we did for some parts of the game.
So she is stacking the bowls again. You know the drill by now. The first one upside down along her right foot. The second right side up on top of that one. The third perched upside down. The fourth right side up. And the fifth and final bowl in the stack is upside down. All cradled along her right foot and leg. Is it 3rd time the charm for Red Panda? A stack of bowls high already on her head. The grand finale. Here goes Red Panda. And she again does not get them. It's just not her day. But a marvelous performance.
Still a good performance. A poor, very, very bravo. Gotta tip my hat.
Then she just threw all the bowls down, and her helper caught none. And then she jumps off from her unicycle. Just fantastic every time.
Gets a great ovation. I'm curious what the attendance is. I'm wondering, does it say on, has it been updated? I was talking to the usher, they were thinking maybe 10,000 is what I heard.
It has not yet been updated.
We'll keep you updated on that. But this is getting greater attendance than some men's games we've had this season, which I know it's an in-state game on a Saturday. In-state rivalry always brings out the best of both fan bases. Still have 20 minutes left as Michigan looks to maintain their 8-point lead and build on it further to continue their run here in the Big Ten this season.
35-27 the score. We're going to take a quick little break here as we switch over broadcasters. For Adam Bressler, I'm Jared Greenspan. Thanks as always for listening to WCBN Sports. Don't touch that mouse. We'll be back in just a couple minutes here on WCBN.
And I think it's fair to mention, too,
yes,
that if you have free time this afternoon, and you want to hear more of the great Jared Greenspan behind the microphone on WCBN.
I don't know how I can top my Red Panda play-by-play. I think I peaked.
So you had a men's hockey game yesterday, women's basketball game today, Red Panda, and then now another men's hockey game this evening. You could do it all. What can't he do?
Crazy.
Tune in. That starts at 4:30.
4:30 at
4:30, I believe. So that'll do it from the first half here in Crisler. Stay tuned as we have a great crew here in the second half. Michigan leads 35-27.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to your second half coverage of Michigan State versus Michigan women's basketball on WCBN. I'm here with KG Foley, and we are in for a good one here after an exciting first half of basketball. Michigan has looked good, up 8 here. We have 3 minutes to go in this halftime period. So, KG, what did you see in this first half from this Michigan team?
From this first half, I saw some really good looks from a couple of our star players. We've seen Leah Brown take some really big clutch shots. She's been taking shots from the three and sinking them, as well as Lila Felia. You know, two players we always expect to see putting up big points. I think that, you know, some of the other players have not been having their strongest night shooting-wise. Unfortunately, Jordan Hobbs is 0 for 5. So hopefully in this second half, they can, you know, warm up, heat up a little, make some more of those shots that they're taking, raise their shooting percentage, and, you know, maintain this 8-point lead.
Absolutely. Michigan is shooting 67% from the stripe, 45% from the three-point line, and 44% from the field. Michigan State, on the other hand, is a little bit less efficient, 32% from the field, 25% from the three-point line, but getting it done at the stripe, 11 for 13. They also have 14 turnovers, which is holding them back in this game.
Absolutely, but, you know, Michigan's also been playing some aggressive defense, which keeps putting MSU at the line and giving them chances to make those free throws, which is absolutely keeping them in this game. You know, it's 11 of the points they have on the board right now. So I would hope that, you know, in this second half, Michigan plays some cleaner defense to keep them off the line, and I think that'll help them pull ahead in an even greater lead.
Along with the cleaner defense, is there anything you'd look for Michigan to do in particular on the offensive end in this second half to sort of pull away here?
Yeah, I think there's been some sloppy moments under the basket with rebounds. I think that, you know, they get a little unsettled, and I think settling could really help this team. You know, once they get some ball movement and they get those good looks, they have shooters that are strong enough to make those baskets. So I would love to see some more passing, because I haven't seen a lot of dynamic passing. I haven't seen a lot of, you know, strong communication, and they've just had a few, like, you know, good shots from their two strongest players, but I'd like to see some more teamwork on the offensive side.
Right, as you mentioned, a lot of the scoring today for Michigan has come from that duo, Leah Brown with 14 and Layla Feely with 8. Emily Kaiser's been a little bit quiet here tonight, only 4 on 2 for 5 shooting. Who do you look to in this second half to sort of take the burden off Leah Brown and Layla Felia?
You know, we were talking about this a little earlier before we got on air, but I'm really hoping Maddie Nolan can get some more looks. She's a really strong shooter when she's on it. In the 3 of the last 5 games, she's had double points. So I hope that maybe in this half she gets a little more confident, gets a little more warmed up, and, you know, she could be a really strong shooter from the 3-point line.
Absolutely. Maybe this will be one of those vintage Maddie Nylon games here in the second half.
Yeah.
1 for 2 from 3-point range thus far for Nolan.
Yeah, I'd really love to see Michigan get on, like, a strong shooting run. You know, against Iowa, I think it was Iowa, they had an 11-0 run and then an 8-0 run at one point, or it might have been Purdue. But, you know, when they get going and they get shooting, they're really fun to watch. So I'm hoping to see some of that in the second half.
And we are ready to get going here in the second half for Michigan. It'll be their usual starters, Leah Brown at the point, Layla Felia, Maddie Nolan, Emily Kaiser, and Cameron Williams. Michigan State going to roll with D.G. Hageman, Kamaria McDaniel, Matilda Eck, Tyre Parks, and Moira Joyner. Hageman brings it up. She's met at the top of the key by Leah Brown. Hageman goes to the left wing. Isoing there, gets a screen from Parks. Now at the top of the key with the ball. Swings it to Eck. Eck drives center. Eck to the rack, left hand, and it's good for Matilda Eck. Michigan State pressing. Inbounded to Maddie Nolan. Nolan past the timeline. Nolan to her left. Maddie Nolan, quick take, and she draws a foul from Eck. So Maddie Nolan will head to the stripe. Michigan up 6 with 9:35 on the clock.
Love to see Maddie Nolan driving to the net. We don't see a lot of Michigan players taking those chances and pushing those drives, and I think that's why they haven't pulled as many fouls today as MSU has.
Maddie Nolan, a fairly sure bet at the stripe, shoots around 89% there, so we'll look for her to hit these two right here.
I hope she hits them. They always should hit them. That's what I think.
They are free throws for a reason.
They are free for a reason.
And the announcer jinx, once again, as Nolan misses the first just after we were praising
Maybe I
her free
shouldn't
throw
have said
shooting.
anything.
Nolan rolls in the second one. So Michigan State will come the other way. DG Hageman will bring it up for Michigan State. She's at the logo, guarded by Leah Brown. Hageman to her left. She'll sit at the left wing, gets a screen, and drops it off to Moira Joyner. Joyner driving baseline. Joyner up in long, gets her own rebound under the basket out to Hageman. Hageman wide open three at her bench. Off the iron. Cameron Williams the rebound. Gives it to Leah Brown. Brown will settle, and she'll push up the court.
Cameron Williams always coming in clutch with those rebounds below the net.
Brown at the right wing. Brown over to Nolan. Nolan drops it off to Kaiser. Kaiser working on the block. She'll step out. Kaiser looking around. Leaves it to Felia. Felia on the right wing. Picks up her dribble. Williams at the elbow. Drops to Kaiser. Kaiser gets some contact, and a foul will go against Michigan State.
Definitely seeing some more passing happening already, which has been looking great, and, pulling in some fouls to give him a second to resettle.
Michigan moving it well here. Leah Brown will look to inbound for the Wolverines. Brown drops it to Nolan. Nolan under the basket, under her woman, no good. A board there for Nolan. Drops it to Brown. Brown to the opposite elbow. Hageman jumped it, but they will call, I believe, a foul on her. So Michigan again will get a chance to run an inbounds play here.
Nice to see some passing. This is an interesting lineup that's on the field right now, on the court right now. It's interesting to see Williams and Kaiser on the court at the same time. That doesn't usually happen at the beginning of the game.
Nolan will swing it to Brown. Brown looking around. Brown goes to her right. Brown around Williams. Shoots a fadeaway. It is long. Nothing there. And Eck will push it. Eck up to Kamaria McDaniel. McDaniel spins in the lane. McDaniel finishes for Michigan State. And Michigan State has cut it to a 5-point game with 8:23 on the clock here in Crisler Center. Nolan travels around the half-court line, and it'll go back to Michigan State here.
Couple of frustrating traveling calls for both teams tonight, as that has been a reason for turnovers a few times for Michigan State, and now again here for Michigan.
Turnovers have been a bit of a story here. Michigan State with 14, Michigan with 6 here in a tight game. Those can come back to bite you in the end. Hageman will set up on the left wing. She'll get a screen. No, she'll drop it down to Eck. Eck spins on Nolan baseline. Eck to the corner. McDaniel, nice look from the corner. And it is off the iron. Cameron Williams the rebound. Williams up to Nolan. Nolan on the right, past the timeline. Nolan toward the middle of the court. And she will reset at the left wing. Leaves it to Leah Brown. Brown will reset at the logo. Brown drops to Felia. Felia to Brown. Brown waits for a screen from Emily Kaiser. She'll drop it to Kaiser. Kaiser has Parks. She'll cross court to Nolan. One more to Felia. Nice possession. Felia long on the three, and Nolan can't save it, so that'll go the other way for Michigan State.
That was a tough shot for Felia. I haven't seen her been that off all night tonight, so.
Good look there. Michigan moving the ball well.
Yeah,
but
definitely some
convert.
good movement. Couldn't finish it off there, but yeah, already seeing some of that movement that was missing from the first half.
Michigan is on a 2-minute scoring drought here as Michigan State looks to cut into the lead. McDaniel around a screen, a hedge there from Kaiser, and she will be called for the foul.
Looked pretty clean to me. That's an interesting call.
Kaiser wasn't happy about it.
Absolutely not.
That will be her second personal foul. McDaniel the inbound for Michigan State on the sideline. She'll leave it for Arald, who hands it back to Hageman. Hageman will set up top, guarded by Brown. Waiting, hands it to Parks, back to Hageman. Hageman looking. Leaves it for Eck. Eck drives. Nolan does a nice job to stop her. Swings to the corner. McDaniel, baseline. McDaniel through a double team. Tough shot. Parks with the board, but they will wipe it off. I believe no, it'll stay here. Foul on Cameron Williams.
Interesting. Wonder what the call was on that.
Foul. No, they'll give it to Maddie Nolan, excuse me. So that'll stay with Michigan State. It's Maddie Nolan's third foul. Inbounder to Didi Hageman. She's isoing on Felia. Drives baseline, stays in bounds. Leaves it for McDaniel. McDaniel drives. Oh, drops Leah Brown, but misses the elbow jumper and gets her own board and can't convert. Felia the other way.
Yeah, Michigan needs to get out of that possession.
Felia pushing to her left. Felia draws some contact, and she will go to the stripe here for Michigan.
Nice to see Felia pushing for the net, drawing in that foul.
Seems to be going foul and foul each way here right now.
Yeah, definitely see both teams getting pretty aggressive, and Michigan was definitely playing some more in-your-face defense there. Maddie Nolan's really good at getting in her opponent's face and keeping her arms up. Unfortunate that she had to draw a foul there because she was playing some really strong defense, which led to MSU almost not making it through the shot clock.
Jordan Hobbs will check in along with Greta Kamschrader. Michigan is on a 2-minute and 60-second scoring drought, while Michigan State has 1 for their last 7, 0 for the last 4, so not a lot of scoring here in the third quarter. Felia knocks down her first free throw.
It's been a low-scoring game in general. These are two teams that usually are averaging above 70 points per game, and we're only trailing below 40 here as we're almost halfway through the third quarter.
Hageman will set up the top of the key. She will leave it for Aralt. Aralt over to Eck. Eck tries to drive on Nolan, will leave it for Aralt. Down to Parks. Parks working on Kaiser, spins to her left. Nice move there by Tyre Parks, and Michigan State gets a deuce. Inbound to Kamschrader. She'll bring it up for the Wolverines. She draws a double, trying to get it past the timeline. Knocked out of her hand by Aralt. Clock running down. And a 10-second violation called on Michigan State there. Kamschrader didn't have anyone to get the ball to there.
Yeah.
Michigan State will go the other way.
MSU's been playing some really productive defense before, Michigan can even get into their side of the court, and it's been working for them tonight. It's afternoon. What time is it? It's dark in here.
It's around 3:08. It is dark
okay.
in the Crisler Center. Not yet evening. Hageman over to Aralt. Aralt for Eck. Eck around a screen. Eck to her right, and a whistle is blown. And they'll give it to Jordan Hobbs, her first.
Did you hear exactly what the foul was, or just?
On the floor, personal foul. So not really sure what they got Hobbs for there. But ball will stay with Michigan State. They trail by 5 with around 6 minutes on the clock here in the third quarter. Hageman trying to get it in, gets it to Eck, wide open from the mid-range. Long there, and the scoring drought here continues in the third quarter.
For both teams, really.
Both teams really struggling. And Kamschrader will bring it up, this time past the timeline successfully. Leaves it to Hobbs on the left wing. Hobbs over to Felia. Felia dribbles to her right, gets a screen from Kaiser. Felia leaves it. Nolan wide open 3. Maddie Nolan is pure from the right wing. We love to see that as a Michigan fan, and the Wolverines go up 8 here.
Maddie Nolan can make those threes when she gets a chance to take them.
Didi Hageman to Eck, working on Nolan on the block. Reverse, blocked by Emily Kaiser and help. And they will call a travel on Eck. And that'll go Michigan's way. Perhaps Maddie Nolan's 3 generates a little momentum here for the Wolverines.
Absolutely. You can see this team getting a little fired up, listening to each other, some half fives between the team.
Hobbs tries to inbound it there, and
MSU is just like, nope.
Swats it back off the baseline. MSU in a bit of a man-to-man press here as Michigan will try to inbound and get it past the timeline. Hobbs
a lot
looking.
of pressure.
Will get it into Nolan. Nolan has Hageman on her. Goes back to Hobbs. Hobbs will be fouled by Aralt with 24 on the shot clock, so
MSU really not letting Michigan breathe before the half-court line, putting that pressure on really early, I guess, trying to get a steal so they can be right under the net and get some points up to lessen this lead that Michigan's holding over them.
And while that aggressiveness has paid off to an extent, Michigan is now in the bonus already with 5 minutes left in the third quarter here. Jordan Hobbs off right iron on the first free throw.
Hobbs unfortunately having a pretty cold game this game.
She'd broken out a little bit recently in her last 2, 12 points and then 5 points off the bench. She'll knock down the second free throw there.
Yeah, Jordan Hobbs is one of those sophomores that has days that she's really good, she's really strong, and she can be a really big component to the bench. But, you know, it's very day-to-day right now, and she's not one of the more consistent players yet.
Leah Brown checks in here now. Tyra Parks for State will hand it to Dee Hageman, who leaves it to Parks, drops it off to McDaniel. McDaniel reverse with the right, can't kiss it off the glass. Loose ball on the floor, and they will call a jump. Kaiser and Aralt there for the Wolverines and Spartans respectively, and that will go with the Michigan Wolverines. We have reached the media timeout here in the third quarter. So a bit sloppy here in the third.
Yeah, unfortunately this is not the greatest game of basketball that I have personally watched in a while. But, you know, it is fun to see a big rivalry, you know, MSU versus Michigan. Tale as old as time. So it's always fun to see that, but I do wish that the game was a little more dynamic, a little more shooting. It's been a pretty dry third quarter so far.
It has. And really, we've talked about this already, but the turnovers really coming in to bite both teams here.
Yeah.
Michigan State has 15 and Michigan has 7. Another story we might want to look at here is Michigan State's aggressive press, which has done a nice job limiting Michigan, has put Michigan into the bonus early here in the third quarter.
Yeah, that's definitely going to kind of, I think, work against MSU now. They've been drawing foul after foul, and if you're going to be putting Michigan behind the line, it's a dangerous game if this is already a 9-point game.
So Michigan State here trailing by 9. If you were the Spartans, is there anything you could think of that you'd want to do differently here?
Oh, I have to pretend to be a Spartan? Oh my God, wait, look, we're on the camera.
Oh, we're on the broadcast cam. Hello to everyone listening at home here in the third quarter.
How are you? Oh, look, it's the graphic. I made this graphic. Look, these are my graphics. Okay, yeah, so let's talk about my graphics. This is the MSU leaderboard. You know, that's a big point is that they're actually missing Gabby Elliott, who's a big player for them. She tore her ACL, so she's not on the court. But the for the Michigan leaderboard, I mean, we're seeing. You can go to the Michigan leaderboard. Yeah, nice, Adam. Thank you. Yeah, if we look here, I mean, this is all the players that we've been talking about so far: Emily Kaiser, Leah Brown, Lila Filia. They're for me the big three on this team. Do you have a big three for this team?
That's the big three for this team.
That's the big three for this team. That's what I would say. Not really anyone pressing into that group at all. I mean, they definitely have some key players that help out, but I would say those are the big three for sure.
And as we return here from the media timeout, perhaps we'll look for that big three to make some plays here in the second half of the third quarter.
Absolutely. Jordan Hobbs seems to still be on.
Yep. For Michigan, it'll be Jordan Hobbs, Greta Kamstrader, Leah Brown, Layla Filia, and Emily Kaiser. There's that big three for the Wolverines, and they're all on here in the third quarter.
All on. Yeah, I'd love to see a little dynamic teamwork between them. It would be, you know, maybe make this a little bit more of an exciting game to watch.
Hobbs will inbound. Michigan State again in that man-to-man press here. Hobbs will get it into Brown. Brown waits. She will dribble, and Michigan State will sort of relax it a little, and Brown will get past the timeline with around 22 on the shot clock here. Kaiser at the elbow. Looking backdoor, nothing. Will hand to Leah Brown. Brown to the right wing. It's picked from her by Taylor Parks, and here comes McDaniel the other way. Filia meets her. McDaniel stops, pops, knocks it down from around 6 feet.
Not sure why Filia took a step back there and almost let MSU take that shot.
Kamstrader will walk for the Wolverines there as they try to beat the press. Another turnover here. Maddie Nolan will check in, and Moira Joyner will check in for the Spartans.
And Greta Kamstrader will go off after that. That MSU press is pulling out some sloppy work from the Wolverines.
Dee Hageman with the ball. She'll give it to Joyner. Joyner to McDaniel. Back to Joyner. Joyner looking to get it to Parks. Will swing it across to Eck. Eck on the baseline. Down to Parks. Out to McDaniel. McDaniel jabs right. Goes right. Stops. Fades off one leg. A tough shot for McDaniel, and she knocks it down over Filia.
Yeah, Filia is struggling to keep those players out of the paint from shooting.
Brown at the top of the key. She'll move left and give it to Filia. Filia works right. And now Nolan at the right wing. Drops to Kaiser in the post. Kaiser to Brown at the mid-range. Brown, nice move to her left. Leah Brown finishing with the left hand over Tyre Parks. Michigan State now the other way. Dee Hageman with the ball at the logo. Checked by Leah Brown. Over to Joyner. Now Eck. Eck is picked up by Hobbs at the top of the key. Eck drives to her left. Leaves it for Joyner. Joyner has Nolan on her. Tries to work left. Nolan falls down. And an offensive foul called. Maddie Nolan takes the charge. And she is excited there on the court for these Wolverines.
Yeah, she is getting worked up. I think you can see it from all the Wolverines, especially Leah Brown. Every time she makes a shot, it always starts to fuel her a little more.
Wolverines trying to get some energy here as they lead by 7 with 3:20 on the clock. Ball inbounded to Felia. Michigan State going to relax the press a little bit. Felia accelerates past Eck. Stops, and she walked trying to stop in the lane there, and another turnover for the Wolverines.
Another traveling call. It's been like, for both teams today, that seems to be an issue they keep running into.
Both teams have reached double-digit turnovers already. Michigan with 10, Michigan State with 16. On the other end, Michigan State, it's Dee Hageman gets a screen from Tyre Parks. Hageman drops it to Parks. Parks outside. That is McDaniel driving, and they'll call a blocking foul on Maddie Nolan as McDaniel tried to drive baseline.
Maddie Nolan picking up another foul. I think that's her third.
Ari
Is that what
Wiggins.
they just said?
No. Ari Wiggins going to check in here.
Ari Wiggins is my favorite player. She's not an unsung hero, I wouldn't say that, but she's definitely someone who needs to work her way up on this team. But she's really dynamic. She's got a dribbling. Oh.
Nice inbound play there. A-Roll catches it and finishes without landing the other way.
I was fangirling about Ari Wiggins. And
Brown steps through. There's Wiggins. Swings it to Felia. Felia stops in the mid-range. Long there, and Michigan State will come the other way with Hageman. Hageman leaves it to McDaniel. McDaniel from 3, off, and Felia with the board. And Michigan again going to push in transition. Felia on the right, slows it down, resets to Brown. Brown drops to Kaiser. Kaiser working with her pivot, and she is fouled. So Emily Kaiser will go to the stripe here for the Wolverines.
Michigan's got to find a balance of, quickly transitioning to the other side of the court, but then once they get there, taking a second to settle. They're trying to beat this press that MSU is putting on them, but their energy starting to spill out once they get to their side. So they need to take a second to settle and, make those passes.
From Parks, working on Ari Wiggins, leaves it for Parks. Parks drives left, leaves it long. Wiggins will push for Michigan. Ari Wiggins leaves it to Brown. Brown drops it to Kaiser. Wide open layup.
Beautiful.
And Emily Kaiser on the board there for Michigan.
This is another time this game we've seen Ari Wiggins carry some energy from the defensive side to the offensive side, start a really nice passing chain, and see it finish through.
Ari Wiggins now checking Dee Hageman at the top of the key. Hageman to the right. We'll get a screen from A-Roll. Wiggins goes under. A-Roll guarded by Hobbs. A-Roll drives right, and that is a charge. Hobbs sets her feet, and she is excited.
They're all excited.
This team loving it on the defensive end here. Couple of charges. Hobbs hyped, and it'll be a timeout for the Spartans.
I'm not surprised. There's clearly an energy shift for this team. There's an energy shift in the arena. I mean, you can see that the Wolverines are getting worked up, and they want to start to, I think, take this game away with them.
It is a busy day here in the Crisler Center.
It's a maze out.
It is a maze out.
So, everyone's here in their maze, which I love. I love a maze out.
Michigan leads here by 9 with 1:33 on the clock here in the third quarter. They have led throughout this second half, but Michigan State still within reach here to make this game interesting in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if they came back a little just to keep it exciting. But, of course, we are an unbiased radio channel, but I would love to see Michigan pull away with the win today.
Certainly make our jobs even more interesting than they already are in the fourth. And Michigan fans here are on their feet.
For the cheerleading team.
And they now are booing.
Do you think if you just stood there and really thought about it and really tried, could you do a flip?
No.
No?
I am not that sort of athlete, I don't think.
I feel like if I really thought about it, maybe watched a YouTube video,
Yeah, a little tutorial.
A little tutorial. Maybe if I had someone like give me a little like lift, I feel like I could pull it off.
I don't think tumbling is really in my repertoire.
Is that not in your repertoire?
No, I don't think so.
That's fair. That's fair. It can't be everybody's thing.
And the Jumbotron telling the fans here to make some noise, and it is loud here in the Crisler Center.
I love when they give out the pom-poms. I still have a pom-pom from my very first Michigan game in my room. Do you remember your first Michigan game?
My first Michigan game. It was most likely as a kid. I grew up in Michigan, but I can't think of when the first game was. I've been going to the occasional game for a long time. I can't really place the first.
Okay, fine. What about your most memorable Michigan game?
My most memorable Michigan game.
This one, right here, right now.
Maybe this one. It's exciting. I don't know. I traveled to East Lansing last weekend to see the men's Michigan State Spartans play this Michigan Wolverines squad, and that was an exciting game to watch. Sloppy, but exciting.
Sloppy, but exciting.
So now Michigan here will inbound. Hobbs to Brown as the crowd quiets down a little bit. Ari Wiggins now will have 5 seconds to get past the timeline, and she will with ease. She'll leave it to Jordan Hobbs in the left wing. Now Brown on the left wing. Gets a screen from Kaiser. Brown to her right to the corner. Hobbs tries a corner three. Got one.
There we go.
Jordan Hobbs, we were waiting. She was 0 for 3 from downtown up until that point, but pure from the corner there.
She was due for that three and definitely picked up some energy after drawing that foul last possession.
She was due, and Michigan now leads by 12 with a minute to go in the third. Eck tries to answer, and she is long. Tyre parks the board. Power dribble, kicks to the corner, one more back to Eck. She'll drive, pulls up from the elbow wide open, off to the left. And Hobbs with the board for Michigan.
Hobbs definitely got some energy going.
Leah Brown now to the top of the key. She'll swing it to Foley on the corner. Foley to Kaiser. Kaiser working from the elbow. Kaiser to her left. Kicks it. Ari Wiggins. Now Hobbs. Hobbs to her right. Hobbs with the right. And no, a foul is called offensively on Emily Kaiser. It seems she sealed Tyre Parks there to open the lane for Hobbs, and she'll get whistled.
It's too bad. That was a great drive from Hobbs.
Not sure I saw a ton there from Kaiser, but ref had a better view than I did. So
they always do.
So it'll be Michigan State ball with 29 on the clock. The shot clock is on. It's about a half a second ahead of the game clock. Now to be Hageman, leaves it to McDaniel, drops it to Parks. Parks spins, kicks to the corner, to the wing. It's Osment. And now it's McDaniel driving. Left hand, she's long. Kaiser with the board. Michigan will have 8 seconds to push. Here comes Hobbs. Hobbs at the right wing. Euro step, floater.
No.
Short. State with the board, and the clock will expire. We will head to the fourth. Michigan leading 51-39 at the end of the third. We're in for a good fourth quarter here in a rivalry matchup between the Michigan State Wolverines and these Michigan State Spartans.
Yeah, definitely a slow start to that third quarter, but picked up some momentum at the end. Probably, Maddie Nolan hitting that three was a really big moment. Jordan Hobbs pulling that foul, big moment. I think, the Wolverines are getting a little excited, feeding into the energy in this arena, feeding into this rivalry. So I'm excited for the fourth quarter. I think it'll definitely pick up a little bit more.
In the last 2 minutes or so, Michigan's been on a 7-0 run. Michigan State's been on about 2.5 minute scoring drought here. So certainly the momentum perhaps favoring Michigan as we enter this fourth quarter here.
Absolutely. What is something you think that MSU is probably going to try and adjust for this fourth quarter to put some pressure on this lead that Michigan is holding?
Well, I'll be curious to see if they bring back the press or not on defense. It was sort of, it was sort of working, but also causing them a little bit of foul trouble in the third. And I'll be curious to see if they can try to bring that back to cause a little sloppy play for Michigan.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought it back, It was working for them pretty well and causing some sloppy moments from the Wolverines, some travel, some 10-second violations. And we'll definitely give MSU a chance, some more scoring opportunity. I mean, right now it's a 12-point difference, so they have a lot of ground to cover in these last 10 minutes of the game.
Michigan State has gotten some good looks on offense lately, but they are shooting 17% from the three-point line, and it's
I would say that Parks for them under the net is carrying a lot of weight for MSU. She's getting those rebounds, she's getting them those second chances, and she's even put up a few points of her own from right under the net. She's one of the tougher players to defend. And I'm surprised that Ari Wiggins has been on her as many times, just considering the objective size difference between the two. But yeah, Parks has definitely for MSU, I think, been keeping their offense going.
Tyre Parks, the senior, has 8 boards today to go along with 6 points. She's been fairly involved here for Michigan State as of late, which is the nature of things when you really struggle to shoot the 3.
Yeah. MSU has not been really sinking a lot of threes this game. What is their, 17%? I mean, Michigan's been 50% this game, which has been fun to watch for sure, and I hope to see them drop a few more.
It's hard to win games, especially in this modern day
without
that difference at the 3-point line.
Yeah, absolutely, especially also because there's no dunking in women's basketball, so the threes are important.
So we'll get it going here in the 4th. Michigan State has the ball. It'll be Kimball, we haven't seen her yet today. And a foul go on Jordan Hobbs. No, it'll be offensive on Tori Osmond, so it'll be Michigan. On the floor for Michigan is Jordan Hobbs, Leah Brown, Ari Wiggins, Layla Felia, and Emily Kaiser. For Michigan State, it is Dee Dee Hageman, Tori Osmond, Abby Kimball, Kamara McDaniel, and Tyre Parks.
Yeah.
So now it'll be Hobbs on the left wing. She'll leave it for Brown. Brown has Hageman on her. Brown gets a screen from Kaiser. Brown to her right, loses the ball, and it'll be off Michigan State, so it will remain with Michigan on the baseline here.
Tori Osmond, she's a starter for MSU, but she's been having a pretty quiet game herself, not really contributing much to MSU's points on the board.
Kaiser will work in the post. Lefty scoop shot, nice move there. Emily Kaiser, tough shot over Tyre Parks with the left hand. And now it'll be Dee Dee Hageman the other way, guarded by Ari Wiggins. Parks at the top of the key, swings it, and now it'll be Abby Kimball. Kimball from the mid-range, hits it.
That was some great dribbling from Kimball that allowed her to get open for that jump shot.
Kimball, a freshman guard, does not play a ton for this Spartans team, but perhaps they're looking for a spark here in the 4th quarter. Maybe the freshman can provide it. Michigan now, it'll be Leah Brown on the left wing. She'll get a screen here from Kaiser. Wraparound pass, a dime from Leah Brown. A beautiful wraparound. Kaiser will be fouled and will go to the stripe.
That was a great look between those two. Those two can really find moments together inside the paint on the court.
They have some good chemistry in the pick and roll, and Brown, who's been really working as the point guard this year for this Wolverines team, delivering a nice pass there to set up the free throws. Kaiser pure there. She's now 3 for 3 from the stripe today, looking to go 4 for 4, barring an announcer jinx, of course. And she got it again.
Nice, no jinx here.
No jinx that time, so Michigan leads by 14 with around 9 to go here in the 4th. Michigan State swings it to Kimball. Kimball leaves for Aralt. Aralt back to Kimball. Kimball top of the key, step back 3. Kimball is pure. Abby Kimball providing a spark here for the Spartans.
She has a really nice step back jump shot that's worked for her 2 times in a row now.
Freshman for Grand Rapids has it going here off the bench in the 4th. Felia, nice hesitation to her left.
Nice.
Very nice move by Layla Felia there to answer.
I love to see Felia driving. She can be really dynamic and get past a lot of defenders.
Now it'll be Michigan State the other way. Aralt look to Kimball on the cut, will leave for Hageman. The 3 around the screen from Parks, no good. Loose ball, and that will go Michigan's way as it bounces off the baseline. Jordan Hobbs will look to inbound for Michigan. The press is back on here for Michigan State. And Tyre Parks will be relieved for Iselin Alexander, a starter who we haven't seen much of. Parks played almost the entire, played the entire 3rd quarter there.
Yeah, it's surprising that they took her off. She's been on the court, I would say, almost the entire game.
So Alexander will come in. Wiggins drives. They'll find Hobbs. Hobbs is long. Felia works an offensive rebound and will reset at the left wing. They'll swing it to Brown. Brown will hold. Michigan not really in any rush here. 10 on the shot clock. She'll get a screen from Kaiser. Brown lob to Kaiser, nice pass. Kaiser spins, wraps baseline. She is fouled by Iselin Alexander, who just checked in. So Kaiser will go back to the stripe, where she is, as we mentioned previously, 4 for 4 today.
Brown's been really great playing point guard so far this quarter. She's been able to find Kaiser under the net a few times now. She has a good look on the court for sure.
Brown has 4 assists, not to mention a couple times to set up free throws here for the Wolverines. Kaiser Pier on another free throw. She'll look to go 6 for 6 here. And she does. The Spartans now trail by 15, with 7:30 on the clock. If they want to mount that comeback, it might need to start sooner rather than later. State swings it to Kimball. Kimball leave for Alexander. Kaiser gets her hand in the passing lane, leaves it for Wiggins. Wiggins on the left. Oh, a nice steal there from Arald, but what is the call? Oh, offensive there on Ari Wiggins, so it will go Michigan State's way.
It was a good attempt from Ari Wiggins, but it got picked off there, and it got a little sloppy at the end. You know, she's another one of those players that's still looking for consistency on this team.
So Wiggins will check out for Maddie Nolan. Wiggins had a nice run here.
Yeah,
got a little
she did.
playing time there. Kimball around a screen, draws an offensive foul. Jordan Hobbs takes her second charge of the day, and again,
yeah, you can see
excited.
It's firing her up.
Some energy there from Hobbs.
Yeah, she's been drawing some really important fouls and getting the ball back for Michigan.
So Hobbs now will look to inbound once again for the Wolverines. And she'll get it into Leah Brown. Brown back to Hobbs. Hobbs up the middle of the court. Hobbs has some space to drive, leaves to Felia on the left corner. Felia drives, stops out to Brown, but it's tipped, but it'll stay with the Wolverines. Hageman got a hand in there, and they will say it is off her, so it'll stay with the Wolverines. Leah Brown to inbound.
I would say that's a pretty lucky call for Michigan.
Might have been off Leah Brown here, but instead she'll be inbounding for the Wolverines. Top of the key to Felia. Felia will set up at the logo here. Moves to her right, crossover. Leaves it for Kaiser. Kaiser at the wing, swings it to Hobbs. Hobbs, Brown in the post. Brown, turnaround, tough shot, and she's fouled by Hageman. Unfortunate foul for the Spartans there, because that would have been a very tough shot for Leah Brown to knock down.
Yeah, I would say that MSU's not really being too smart with their fouling right now. I mean, MSU keeps putting the Wolverines behind the line, and they've been really strong there. So I would say that they definitely might need to consider cleaning up their defense and pulling it in and not letting the fear of this big point gap force them to do anything that's not in their best interest.
Brown will miss her first free throw there for Michigan State. Theron Alex checks in for the Spartans, another freshman guard who has not played yet today. Brown is Pier on the second, and Halleck will bring it up. She checked out Hageman, the point guard. Halleck to her right, it's Kimball. Kimball looking top of the key to Moira Joyner. Joyner down to Alexander. Iceland Alexander, there's a whistle blown, and it'll go against the Wolverines.
A quick team huddle on the court for the Wolverines.
So Michigan State will look to inbound here, up 16 with 6 to go. Cameron Williams will grab Emily Kaiser, and as we were talking about earlier, they haven't really played a ton together as of late, so we'll see Williams at the 5 here to sub Kaiser out for a little bit. I'm sure she'll be back. Michigan State has it in the corner. It is, now it's back into the corner to Aralt. Kimball working over to Halleck. Halleck drives to her right, tipped by Hobbs. It'll stay with the Spartans.
Nice way to break up some of the momentum there, but Michigan was doing a really good job of keeping MSU pressed in that corner over there, draining some of their time.
Moira Joyner had to force up a 3 with the shot clock expiring. It is short. Hobbs with the rebound, and now it'll be Leah Brown the other way for the Wolverines. Layla Felia now working on the freshman Halleck, kicks it to Brown, wide open in the corner, pump fakes. Mid-range is long for Brown, and it's tipped. Halleck will go the other way for the Spartans. Halleck to her right, Euro step, tough finish with the left hand. Impressive move there for Theron Halleck. The freshman guards off the bench for the Spartans, providing a little bit of burst here in the fourth quarter. So Maddie Nolan will set up for the Michigan Wolverines at the top of the key. Nolan has 4 fouls, so we're keeping an eye on her there. Leah Brown now at the left wing gets a screen from Williams. Kicks it to Hobbs in the corner. Hobbs will try another 3. Hobbs is pure.
There we go.
Jordan Hobbs.
Really nice to see Hobbs come into herself in the second half of this game.
Hobbs is now 2 for 6 for downtown. Getting a lot of shots today, which is good to see from the younger guard. Nice play for State. Moira Joyner with a layup on the right side. Joyner, we haven't seen a ton here in the second half as she also has 4 fouls, but back in and make a nice contribution there. Leah Brown doubled as she brings it up to Nolan, back to Brown. Brown to Hobbs. Hobbs is open, sets up for 3. Off right for Jordan Hobbs. Couldn't get back-to-back threes down. And now Halleck will push for the Spartans. Halleck sets up at the top of the key, leaves it for Kimball. Kimball down to Alexander. Iselin Alexander to her left. And 1 over Cameron Williams. Spartans answering a little bit here, chipping away. They now trail by 13 with a chance to cut it to 12 as we enter this media timeout here in the fourth quarter.
Wow, well, definitely a lot more happening here in this fourth quarter. A lot more moves and plays from both teams. A little less of that, like, stale back and forth, turnover. I think each team is settling, and we're seeing some players start to shine a little more, especially with Jordan Hobbs as she calms down and I think finds a little bit of a groove and some energy in the last 5 minutes of this game.
The one thing I think most that I've appreciated about Hobbs today is she's only 2 for 10 from the field. She's stayed aggressive.
Yeah.
And Kim Barnes-Arico seems comfortable leaving her out there, and it's good to see another aggressive offensive player from this Wolverines team outside of Felia, Brown, and Kaiser.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's probably why the coaches kept her on because, she's probably looking for people to best complement those 3. And I think that Hobbs tonight has showed that she can really be supportive and also have her own kind of star moments on the court.
And it's not really that she's been ball hogging or anything. She has stayed within the flow of the offense. She's gotten some good looks. Hasn't been her best shooting performance, but it's good to see her take those shots when she's gotten them.
Yeah, and it's also just apparent that she brings an energy to the court just with her presence and the way that she can fire up her teammates around her, which is just as important for small team sports.
And I'm sure Kim Barnes-Arico doesn't mind the fact that she's taken 2 charges on the defensive end either.
No, absolutely not. She took them like a champ too. Came back up stronger than before when she got pushed down. So it's always fun to see teams get fired up like that.
So as we are in this final media timeout here, Michigan is actually shooting a higher percentage from the 3-point line, 47%, than they are from the field goal. Overall field goal is 45%, while Michigan State's still struggling at under 40% from the field and 20% from the 3-point line. It is hard to win games in the Big Ten Gauntlet with such poor shooting splits, unfortunately, for Michigan State.
Yeah, I just don't think it's been their best shooting day in general. I think both teams kind of took them a second to get into the groove, and Michigan State hasn't really found it as the Wolverines have. So the media timeout concludes here. Players return to the court for Michigan. It'll be Leah Brown, Cameron Williams, Elise Stuck, Layla Felia, and Maddie Nolan. The Spartans will send on Moira Joyner, Iselin Alexander, Julie Aralt, and who am I missing? Didi Hageman and Abby Kimball. They're keeping the freshman on.
She
was bringing some energy there and had some 2 really nice step backs.
Yeah, Kimball and Halleck, 2 freshmen who don't play a ton, had a couple nice moments here in the fourth for the Spartans, and Kimball will stay on here. Alexander missing the free throw off the backboard, and now it'll be Felia to bring it up for the Wolverines. Leaves it for Brown. Brown on the left wing, working against Kimball. Swings it to Nolan. Nolan drives. Nolan dribbles back out to the right wing. Drops it down to Williams. Out to Stuck. Stuck drives to the middle of the court. Drops it for Brown. Brown from downtown. Leah Brown off to the right. Stuck will chase it down. Loose ball. And that'll stay with the Wolverines. Leah Brown had been pure on a couple deep threes today, but that one off to the right.
Yeah, but even before, it was still some nice passing, nice to see that none of the Wolverines were forcing anything that wasn't necessary.
We talked a little bit about ball movement when we got on this call earlier, and it seems the Wolverines have done a nice job moving the ball.
Yeah,
throughout
absolutely.
the second half.
I definitely feel like we've seen some more from them the second half. we did during the first.
So Brown gets it into Stuck at the top of the left wing, and she will hand it to Brown. Brown working on Joyner, who has 4 fouls. Joyner screened by Williams. Drops it to Nolan. Nolan for 3. Maddie Nolan is pure.
Maddie Nolan. I think we spoke it into existence for her today.
Maddie Nolan, 3 for 4 from downtown. We know she can light it up when she gets going, and good to see that here from Nolan. So now the Wolverines are on defense as the Spartans go to work. Kimball doesn't get the ball from Alexander. Alexander gets the ball back. Alexander, nice move over Cameron Williams for Isel and Alexander.
Alexander just flawlessly weaved through 4 Wolverines like it was nothing.
So now the Wolverines will go back the other way. Nolan has it. She will wait and pivoting at the top of the right wing, leaves it for Stuck. Stuck will give it to Brown. 15 on the shot clock. Michigan really in no hurry, up 14 with 3:20 on the clock. Brown working to the top of the key, leaves it for Williams in the post. Williams turns, ready hook, off back iron, and now Michigan State will go the other way. It's Hageman. Hageman behind her back, loses it. Felia finds the loose ball, gives it to Nolan, and Nolan will slow it down before being double teamed by Hageman. Gets it to Felia, 3-on-2, almost a 4-on-2. Felia drops to Williams. Easy lefty layup for Cameron Williams. Easy play. Nice play there from Layla Felia, making the right read down to Williams.
Definitely. She's a player that also has a pretty high basketball IQ. She makes some really good passes and knows when to pass instead of go.
Right decision there. So now Michigan State, it's Joyner in the corner. Joyner drives baseline. Stop. Back to Kimball. Kimball working on Nolan. Back to Joyner, corner gun. No good from the corner. Alexander the board. Back to Joyner. Kicks it to Aralt. And a foul is called. Stuck is down for the Wolverines. They'll she'll get up, no problem.
It's been a pretty physical game. I feel like we've seen a lot of players on the floor. Ari Wiggins back in.
Ari Wiggins will come back in along with Emily Kaiser, relieving Cameron Williams and Leah Brown.
I would really like to know why Coach Barnes doesn't like Kaiser and Williams on at the same time.
I mean, if I were to make a guess, I think it's a little bit more shooting because both of them are sort of traditional bigs. Though Kaiser has shot the 3, albeit on limited attempts, pretty well this year.
Kaiser's one of their strongest shooters, so it's interesting.
Needs a little more speed in transition when you don't have 2 bigs on the floor.
Yeah.
But Parks will kick to Eck. Eck driving baseline. Leaves it. It'll be Joyner. Step back midi. Short, and she almost ran down her own board, but instead it'll be off of her. She is down on the baseline, will be helped up by her teammates.
Tough. That was like a belly flop.
Took a sort of weird spill there, trying to chase down her own miss. And now the Wolverines will inbound. They lead by 16 here with 2:13 on the clock. Stuck will inbound. Up to Kaiser. Kaiser draws a double, puts the ball down, and Hageman will draw a jump ball. I think Kaiser knows that putting the ball down allows smaller guards to get to that ball, but so that'll result. Oh no, the jump will stay with Michigan, excuse me, so no turnover. Maddie Nolan will check out for Greta Kamschrader, and Kaiser will inbound on the sideline by the Michigan State bench. Kaiser inbounds Ari Wiggins. Wiggins doubled up to Kamschrader. One more to Felia. Felia working, drives to the middle of the court. Puts it up, can't get it to go, and here come the Spartans the other way. Kaiser falls down, so Michigan State will have numbers. Joyner pushing, swings at Kimball, open 3. Abby Kimball, no good.
No good.
Ari Wiggins got up for that rebound, took it away from Tyre Parks, and a foul called on the Spartans.
Ari Wiggins is always fighting for those rebounds.
And Moira Joyner has just fouled out.
Oh, wow. Tough.
So
One time I was playing basketball when I was younger, and I fouled out, and I cried.
I never played enough to foul out. Didn't get enough minutes for that.
Didn't get enough minutes.
Can't foul out if you don't if you only play 5 minutes off the bench. So Ari Wiggins will shoot free throws here. The lefty is no good on the first. Michigan is at around over 75% here. Well, that'll drop it to 72% from the stripe here today. Wiggins hits the second one, rattles it in, so the Spartans will come back up the court. It'll be in the hands of Hageman. Hageman picked up by Wiggins, hands it to McDaniel, who just checked in for the foul out Moira Joyner. Tyre Parks now, back to Hageman. Hageman working on Felia to the right. Reverse between her legs. Felia picks up the loose ball. Ari Wiggins pushing. No, she'll slow it down in the left wing. Back to the rim. Wiggins swings it to the corner. One more. Cam
Nice.
Schrader will hold it. She will now drive, working to the left, resets, spins back on Parks to the corner, stuck. Wiggins top the key. 12 on the clock. Over to Stuck. Stuck's pass is intercepted there by McDaniel, and she will go the other way, but doesn't have numbers. Leaves it for Eck. One more to Hageman. Corner three is off back iron, so Ari Wiggins will go the other way for Michigan. A minute to go here. Michigan leads by 17. Wiggins working, splits the defenders, draws a foul, so she will go back to the stripe. And well, this game not exactly down to the wire here as we look at a 17-point game with 58 seconds left here.
Yeah. Some people starting to make their way out, pretty confident that the Wolverines will pull away with a win today. But you never know what could happen in 57.9 seconds.
Spartans go with a younger lineup. Wolverines' only starter here in is Cameron Williams, along with Ari Wiggins, Greta Cam Schrader. Excuse me, that was, sorry, I lost who that was. Nevertheless, Wolverines are with a young lineup there. Excuse me. It's Alyssa Crockett. Hadn't seen her number in a little while
I haven't
today.
seen her play in a minute, but nice to see that she's going to get a minute of play here.
So it'll be Hackett here for Michigan State. The freshman had a nice bucket earlier in a brief moment of court time. Over to Vischer. Transfer from Stephen F. Austin, and she'll finish in and one. Vischer's a grad transfer, averaged 14 points a game last year at Stephen F. Austin. Doesn't really get a lot of playing time as of late for the Spartans, but she'll get an and one here in garbage time.
Garbage time?
It's a 16-point game with 46 seconds remaining, I'm afraid to say.
You just called a freshman's glorious minute on the court
No,
garbage
she's a
time.
grad transfer.
Oh.
Yeah. I actually am surprised a little bit she doesn't play a little more for the Spartans team. Had a really good career at Stephen F. Austin, but obviously Stephen F. Austin not really in as good of competition as the Big Ten. Ari Wiggins will hold 18 on the shot clock, 30 on the game clock. So Michigan will have to take one last shot. It'll be Cam Schrader working. Cam Schrader will leave it for Clark. Clark's first court time today. Cam Schrader fires a three. It is off. Michigan State the rebound. It'll be Vischer pushing. No, she'll hold. And Hackett will bring it up. 13 on the clock here. Hackett drives to her right on Crockett. Crockett with a nice block from behind. And she makes up there for me getting her name wrong earlier. Vischer resets to the Spartans. 3 on the clock. Final shot for McDaniel is off short. And the Michigan Wolverines get out of here with a 15-point win, 70-55. Winning in front of a big home crowd here in Crisler Center.
Everyone on their feet. Super exciting. I mean, at the end there wasn't really a surprise that the Michigan was going to pull away with the win, but at the beginning it was definitely not their strongest game. I think they were a little unsettled, not doing some great passing. Some of their shooters were a little cold, but at the end they really started to pull it together, and they're going to pull away today with a win against our arch nemesis, MSU.
Michigan strung together a couple of wins as of late, beating Iowa and Purdue recently. And Purdue, they've been...
Yeah, I think their record is now 14-2? 14-2?
Firmly towards the top of a stacked Big Ten this year. They moved to 15-3, 5-2 in conference play. And a really nice win here against a rival for Michigan State. Excuse me.
It's really hard. It's a lot of Michigan. Michigan State, Michigan University. You could just say Wolverines and Spartans.
So Michigan State, on the other hand, will drop to 10-8, 2-5 in the conference. So
yeah. So it was a good game.
Good game tonight here. And
afternoon, you forget.
It's still only 3:51.
There's a whole day ahead.
So some happy Michigan fans will exit here tonight. They will be back tomorrow for a noon start in a men's game against Northwestern. WCBN will be on the call. And we wish you a great day, and go blue after a very nice...
Well, I think we have to stay on the air for 9 more minutes.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, anyways, I'm happy I got to see Ari Wiggins play. She's my favorite player on the Wolverines.
No, it was good to see some bench production here for the Wolverines. Wiggins had some nice moments.
Yeah. She just has to work on being a little more consistent. She's not the most consistent player in the world right now. But are we good?